This is Newcap News with Nicole Stilger.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. RCMP have seized $30,000 worth of drugs, weapons and cash from a Lloydminster home. On July 25th, following an investigation, police executed a search warrant at a residence on 45th Ave and 32nd Street.
As a result of that seizure, there's approximately 117 grams or about a quarter pound of methamphetamine. That's a notable seizure for a city of this size. In addition to that, there was a quantity of approximately 137 grams of cocaine, both in a powdered form and a crack cocaine form.
Police also uncovered $7,600 in cash and 6 firearms, 2 of which are confirmed stolen.
The number of firearms that were located, as you can see on the table, some prohibited firearms, sawed-off shotguns. There was, in addition to that, we found packaging material, scales, all the evidence that we look for to support a trafficking charge.
Chad Thorne, Amber Iben, Hannah Fitzpatrick, Miles McEachern, Kimberly Royer and Naomi Okamau, all from Lloydminster, are facing multiple drug and weapon-related charges. Well, 2 men face charges after a shootout with RCMP during a traffic stop in Onion Lake. Mounties say it happened over the weekend. They tried to stop a stolen pickup truck, but someone inside fired at them and the truck sped off. However, it soon got stuck in a nearby slough. Police and the suspects exchanged shots before the suspects fled and were eventually caught. 2 men face charges that include assault with a weapon. RCMP have asked Regina Police to review the incident. And RCMP and Maidstone are looking for 5 stolen vehicles after a bunch of thefts last weekend. These are shots of one of the suspects in a home break-in on Sunday. Thefts included the communities of Waseca, Hillmont and near Lloydminster. Police say they've had 62 vehicles stolen in the region so far this year. They add most of the vehicles either had keys left in them or were left unlocked. Well, police are urging residents not to take matters into their own hands after a creep catcher wrongfully accused an individual of trying to meet with a young boy in Lloydminster. The creep catcher group attempts to prevent child sexual abuse by posing as minors and then exposing adults by taking and posting videos of the confrontation. RCMP say this type of activity could affect an investigation.
At no time do we encourage any member of the public to take on this activity on their own by going out and trying to stop people on their own accord from committing offences in relation to child exploitation. Sometimes this actually hinders a police investigation that is ongoing, and it has been known within Alberta that has actually happened.
A 22-year-old Saskatchewan male faces charges of common nuisance, criminal harassment and mischief after posting a video of the encounter to Facebook. If you suspect a crime, you're asked to contact police.
Leave the investigations up to the police. That's what we're here for. And if you have any information in relation to somebody you believe is doing sexual child exploitation, to contact your local police agency.
A local artist is showcasing his work in the heart of downtown Lloydminster. Dave Smith is an artist whose experiences and technique has led him to focus his art pieces mainly on the human form.
I usually start with, I just cut off a piece of canvas and stick it on the wall, tack it on the wall, and start from there, and then I stretch them onto stretchers after.
His work is well represented in the art scene here in the city, and that's not stopping anytime soon, as Smith is currently working on a new series of paintings.
I'm currently working on a Canada 150 series with a model from each province of Canada. I have, I think, 8 of them done, 9 of them done, so I've got a couple left to go.
The completed portraits are already up in the collective art market, and they will each have a special maple leaf painted on them. Alberta's Ag Minister is touring the region ahead of Open Farm Days coming up in the province in August. O'Neill Carlier was at the new cheesery in Vermilion on Monday and stopped by Newcap Television when he came to the border city.
And this year as well, the cheesery is taking part in Open Farm Days, which is happening August 19th and 20th. Yeah. And I encourage everybody, if they can, to go out and enjoy some of the many people that are taking part.
Carlier, who is just back from meetings with fellow Ag Ministers in Newfoundland, was quite pleased with what he saw at the cheesery.
I'm so happy that a local processor is able to do local produced products, in this case milk from local dairy, to produce a real fantastic product.
We'll have more on the Ag Minister's visit later in the cast. Well, Honeydew, an inquisitive rabbit, and 2 cats, Tootie and Fruity, are up for adoption in this week's pet project. Here's John from the SPCA.
Just like the fruit, Honeydew is full of sweetness to the core. Honeydew is a very inquisitive rabbit who loves to explore. She is happiest when she's out of her cage in a big playpen, so that she has lots of room to run and stretch out when she's ready for a nap. Honeydew loves all kinds of fruits and vegetables, but she's particularly fond of carrots. The minute you put them in her playpen, she hops over and starts munching away. If you're looking to add a rabbit to your family, you really won't find a more friendly and loving one than Honeydew. Visit the SPCA and meet this beautiful girl today. This lovable pair are Tootie and Fruity. These two were introduced to the SPCA when they were left in a kennel at the front door one early morning in mid-June. Like their namesakes, these two are the sweetest pair ever. They love nothing more than snuggling next to each other for some grooming and a quick nap. Both are a little timid at first, but once they get to know you, they're always right at the front of their kennel waiting to greet you in the morning. You can tell just after spending a few minutes with Tootie and Fruity that they both have such gentle souls that would bring so much joy to that special family that decides to add either one of them or ideally both to their family. Be sure to stop by the SPCA and meet this wonderful pair today.
Alberta's Ag Minister was in the border city on Monday for meetings with the Lloydminster Exhibition Association. With the province gearing up for open farm days in August, the minister took time to meet with our Gerard Lampow. O'Neill Carlier just got back from meetings with his provincial counterparts as they hammered out the new Growing Forward program.
So the new program is going to be called the Canadian Agriculture Partnership, and I was really honored to be able to take part in that because the last program contributed $406 million into the industry, agriculture industry here in Alberta, and looking forward to being able to make that contribution to the next program.
So we're looking for a similar in terms of dollar value?
The dollar value would be very similar. You know, there's always going to be some changes as opposed to some of the programs. Programs are everything from environmental sustainability to markets and trades to risk management, the agri-insurance, et cetera, that farmers now have.
And I think that was one of the concerns that I'm seeing coming out of Saskatchewan. The feeling there is in terms of late signing up for agri-stability and those kinds of things there. There was some concern about that, and they're saying they won't be part of that because, as you said, the risk involved, you need to be proactive in dealing with your risk. What's your thoughts there?
You know, my conversations with producers across the province, agri-insurance is very well subscribed to, close to 90% in a lot of the regions. So it's a program that works fairly well. But the agri-stability wasn't working well for our producers, probably in all the prairie provinces where it doesn't work well for cow-calf, it doesn't work for crop farmers. So we're able to do a little bit of tweaking. Saskatchewan has taken the stance that the late participation, agri-stability, is not something that they're interested in. I'm willing to look at that to make and see if that will help agri-stability be more user-friendly for our producers. But I'm cautious to see how it actually might work.
Minister Carlier also had meetings with the Lloydminster Agriculture and Exhibition Association. We will have more on his comments on ag issues later this week. Gerard Lampow, Newcap News.
This is Newcap Sports.
20 of the country's best under-18 women's fastball teams have descended on the border city to compete for a national fastball championship, and one of those teams is the Lloydminster Liners. The local team's quest for a championship began at Legion Park yesterday, and Lance Phillips was there to see an incredible start for the Liners' talented squad.
Lloydminster's U18 Liners are living a dream, playing for a national championship on their home field, and Monday, the dream took a step closer to reality with a dominant 9-1 win over the Saskatoon Selects. Jensen Chorney pitched the game of her life, and it was just what the Liners needed to open the tournament.
I was really happy how I pitched. I've been struggling the last couple games that we've had, so I was really happy with how I performed.
That's insane. She's very good, for pushing through, and there was no spots where it was down for her. It was always on fire, on and going hard.
Well, it's huge. I mean, anytime you have a fragile ball team, and we were a little bit coming into this, when your pitcher can go in and throw, 3 hits, I think, maybe 2 hits and 1 run. I mean, that's huge. It allows everybody a little less pressure when they're at the plate. Jensen answered big time.
All 3 phases of the team's game were solid, and even with some great defensive plays and excellent work on the mound, it was easy for players and coaches to pick out the win's deciding factor.
most of the year we scored a lot of runs, and the last few weeks we just haven't been able to score runs. You know, not hitting with runners in scoring position, and we really answered the bell there. We worked a lot with the kids in situational hitting, and I mean they answered the bell on that component for sure.
I thought our hitting was awesome. Like, we really came on when we needed to, and I think everybody hit. Not too many strikeouts, and we all barreled the ball really well.
I'd have to say we were on the bats very well, but our fielding too, like everyone just came in together and really killed it.
A tournament opening win has given the Liners a much-needed morale boost at just the right time, considering the team's turbulent lead-up to the national stage.
Well, it's huge. I mean, we had a couple rough outings, really a couple rough weeks, you know, coming into this. So just from a confidence standpoint, it's huge for the kids that first inning 2-run home run. You could feel the belief in the bench just grow, and answered it with 3 in the second, and the bats just kept coming.
I think it just sets our standards high, and we know that we can do it, and we're gonna take that with us, and we're gonna go far, I think, with it.
I think we all decided to come together as a team. We had a meeting, you know, we were like, let's buckle down. We know the team we can be, so let's just pull it together like we know we can.
Lance Phillips, Newcap Sports, Lloydminster.
Marking your spot isn't only a term used for dogs, it also applies to golfers. In this week's episode of Tips from the Green, Lance Phillips and Ryan Vaughn show us some proper ways to do something many on the green overlook.
Welcome back to Tips from the Green. Lance Phillips along with Ryan Vaughn, the head professional here at Cold Lake Golf and Winter Club. Ryan, these balls have been, the approach shots, these are pretty good actually, you know, 10 feet away, 7 feet away, those are pretty good approaches. But we've been playing as a twosome here, we have to mark these balls, and this, to me, seems fairly straightforward, but it's not as straightforward as you would think.
Yeah, a lot of the beginner players, and you know, it's just kind of common etiquette when you're on the green to mark your ball. You can pick it up, you can clean the ball, take any dirt, little grass off that it may have encountered when the ball has approached the green.
You've given me a Cold Lake Golf and Winter Club poker chip here, basically.
Yeah.
Does this have any cash value is what I need to know?
No cash value to it.
Okay.
But it's what it does have value is it's going to mark your golf ball to allow a free shot to the hole for me, so you're not stymied, or I'm not stymied when I putt by your ball today.
Okay. Let's mark this one. So what do you suggest I do here? Because I know that some people will go, you know, they'll mark it by going over here, or they'll do some, what's your suggestion?
Yeah, you betcha. So directly behind the ball. Okay. So just kneel down behind the ball and place it right behind the ball, you betcha. So it's almost touching the ball there. Okay. And now, once that mark is down, you are free to pick your ball up. Okay. Clean it, do what you need to do with it. So go ahead and do that. All right. So when I come back here, I notice that Lance's mark is in my route to the ball still. And if I hit Lance's ball mark, it's going to bounce, right? So we have to move Lance's mark. So what we do, Lance, excuse me.
Yes.
We're going to pick a tree in the distance.
Okay.
Okay. And all we're going to do is line our putter up with that tree, okay? And we're going to bend down right behind it, and we're going to move that mark just 6 inches, a putter width, behind, and now we've successfully moved our mark. So as you stand up, keep your eye on the tree, and then just kind of walk in a straight line backwards.
Ah, okay.
Okay, so now you've got a line, you've got a visual, okay?
And you're not interfering with the
And you're not interfering with the putt.
And I guess the interesting thing here to me is that you should mark the ball first before you decide to use the putter. You shouldn't do it the other way around.
Absolutely. Mark the ball first and then adjust the mark.
Well, that's essentially how you mark a ball then.
That's it.
I feel like that might be a lost start that maybe a lot of people can get back.
Absolutely.
Thanks a lot, Ryan. Appreciate it.
Well, school hasn't even begun and the Lakeland Rustlers women's basketball team is on the court. But all is not good in Rustler land. Lance Phillips and Josh Ryan bring to light an issue that could be costly to team success unless it's resolved quickly.
Thank you very much, Josh. Chris King and the Lakeland Rustlers women's basketball team had bomb drop this past weekend, commonly known as camp, before the start of season. Conditioning
was not at an all-time high, though. And if you're Chris King, are you concerned about your players' conditioning ahead of the season starting in September?
I think he's certainly concerned about a few players on his team in terms of their conditioning, and there's maybe an even smaller concern regarding the whole team. You have to take it in part because you have girls like Angela Barron and Taya Paylor who are coming in pretty good shape. Barron in particular looks much fitter than last year. She's put on some muscle in her best way and looks very good. Also ran the best time for their beep test. You do have to be concerned about a couple of the older players and even some of the older but transferring players like Brianne Hergott needing so much ice right after. That is definitely a concern. They do have a month to kind of figure this out, but they're going to have to manage everything they do and everything they eat as well for the next 2 months as they head into the season.
Well, and then this begs the question that as you're working towards a season that starts in September, are you as the coach concerning yourself more with conditioning, or are you concerning yourself more with, hey, I've got to get this team ready for the start of the season?
It's absolutely the latter, and that's one of the frustrations of this situation is you don't want to have to worry about players doing the off-season work. I mean, they're 18, 19, 20-year-olds, this stuff will happen on the guys' side as well, but I think with Chris, he'll be focused on his job, and he's hoping obviously they do as well as they can with their conditioning going forward. If it's a really bad situation where they don't do anything for the next month, he may have to step in, but he can only do so much.
Well, hopefully his players will take control of the situation themselves and get themselves into better shape before the start of the season. That, plus MLB umpiring, CFL, Twins, and Border City Blue Jays coming up on The Gloves Are Off this evening, 7 o'clock on CITL.
Don't miss it.